Yo, what is up, boys and girls? My name is Osmer, and I feel the need to make this video. I felt some sort of, sense of urgency to make this video, because I feel like it's going to be a topic that's going to be blown up pretty soon, and I felt like being on the forefront of it. The first hit piece is out on Mr. JonTron. If you don't know who JonTron is, his name is John Arian Jafari. He is a YouTuber who has amassed a large following, kind of like a cultish following, people who really like his videos and obsess over him. But recently, he's come out with a lot more controversial opinions. He's showing signs of being more, leaning towards the right as opposed to how he was back in the day. He used to tweet things out about how he wanted Bernie Sanders to win and how we needed Bernie to win and if we were going to beat Trump or whatever. And he's sort of coming out on the side of looking like he could be a future Trump supporter. I'm not sure he's all there yet, but he's leaning right pretty fast. He's getting there pretty fast. And recently there was a hit piece that was just released. Let me see. This is 4:35 that this was posted today. And right now it's like 6:30 as I'm making this video. So it's a pretty fucking recent article. It's like 2 hours ago. And usually when it's like a domino effect. The first hit piece comes out, the rest come with it. I watched this happen with PewDiePie. I believe that the original people that wrote, it was Wall Street Journal that wrote the original article about him, a little bit bigger than Gizmodo, but you can see that, journalists or whatever, they talk to each other, they look at each other's websites. Some journalist is going to pick this up somewhere. I have a good feeling about it. If I'm wrong, then good, because John doesn't deserve to lose his YouTube career over this, although he has lost, I believe, something like 50,000 subscribers. He's been dropping subscribers like crazy recently because he's come out with his political ideology and spread it around his Twitter. For reasons that he says is basically because everything's gone too far left, everything's getting too crazy, he needs to bring normalcy back. He thinks everything's just going nuts, and he just wants to, somebody's got to say something, is what he said in his Sargon of Akkad, sort of Skype conversation thing. That's the only thing I watched. He did recently have a debate, I think, with Destiny, some guy from Twitter named Destiny. He's got a blue check mark, so he's important. But he debated him recently. I haven't actually watched this video. I feel like I'm going to watch it after this, probably. I don't feel like I need to watch this video for much context as to why he's lost subscribers. I think that the only context you need is he said some stuff about immigration that people on the left would not agree with. Because his tweet right here that sort of blew the whole thing up, got this guy named Destiny after him, was he said, "Wow, how scandalous. Steve King doesn't want his country invaded by people who have contempt for his culture and people. Nazi." I don't see anything wrong with that. Steve King tweeted out something saying, like, people viewed it as white nationalism. He said that, we shouldn't have a massive amount of immigrants into our white countries, and that we should have an ethnocentric state, in a sense, is what it boils down to what he said. And you're not completely wrong, because he retweeted this guy named Chris Ray here, and he said, "Imagine white people go to Asia and say, there's too many Asians here, let's do something about that." I don't know, man, just creepy. That's what he said. And yeah, there's some you can agree with that. You wouldn't go to these Asian countries and be like, "This place is way too fucking Asian. What are we gonna do about this, guys? You better fix this." Although Japan and I believe South Korea's got its own shit going on. So Japan has recently started trying to get immigrants in, mainly because of their terrible birth rates, and nobody's fucking in there anymore, so they need people to come fuck. But yeah, JonTron has come out and he said all this, as I said, and I feel like there's going to be a domino effect. And the dude, he hasn't strayed that far right. I watched his Sargon video. He's clearly, if you know anything about the internet, you know anything about politics, there's a website called 4chan/poll. He says he only goes on 4chan, like 3 or 4 times. The dude clearly visits a lot. He says he echoes a lot of what I read on that site. I mean, I go on there a hefty amount too, but I'm not blind to like everything else in the world. I'm not like an alt-right Nazi or anything like that, but I go on the website. There's some agreeable information there if you can sort through the massive amounts of people saying nigger and whatever on the site. You can find some useful information there. Some articles you wouldn't have usually been linked to. You can do some research there on things that you might want to know more about that you're going to have a hard time finding out about if you only read, like, the New York Times or something. So John's clearly going further right. Everything he's saying isn't that bad. He recently came out with a Q&A video. He did this "our guy" thing, which is a 4chan quote, which means or a term, which means, you know, he goes on there. So this dude's gonna get hit with a lot of hit pieces soon. Is he a Nazi? The dude, he's not a Nazi, at least not yet, you know? That's what it boils down to, and I feel like these hit pieces are coming out. This Gizmodo piece actually said John Jafari is a popular YouTuber and gamer, better known as JonTron, and he tweeted out this or whatever. And the reason they say it's so crazy, is because he did it. Wealthy Black Americans commit more crimes than poor whites and stuff like that. He said some things without a ton of research or information, and basically what the Gizmodo hit piece boils down to is they don't like his opinions on immigration. They don't believe in an ethnocentric state. They don't think that white people should be a majority in a country. They think that we all need diversity, and it's important to the world. So JonTron's not a Nazi in that sense. I guess you could say if he went out and said we need to kill everybody in the state or in the United States that isn't white, then you could say he's a Nazi. But these hit pieces that have been coming out about people like PewDiePie, they're sort of ridiculous. I feel like they just want to label everybody as a Nazi. If they show any hint of going right, they want to extinguish that as fast as possible, and honestly, it's working against JonTron way more than it has against PewDiePie. I'm hoping PewDiePie comes out and says something about this. Maybe that will expose PewDiePie as being too far right too. Maybe that's why he hasn't come out, but I feel like the dude needs some help right now. He's sort of putting himself in a lot of trouble with not going back on anything, and I think that's a good thing. I think that you should stand up for what you believe in, and you shouldn't back down when somebody starts writing hit pieces against you. I think that you should you should double down in situations like these, because you're not doing anything wrong. I mean, this is your private Twitter. You haven't made any videos that were that bad or anything like that. I mean, maybe if your subscribers were looking at your YouTube channel and being like, whoa, this shit's all alt-right Nazi shit, then you'd have a reason to unsubscribe. But to unsubscribe because somebody's political ideology is a little further right than yours, a little ridiculous. And I feel like he might be losing more subscribers if he doesn't get like a team to defend him. Like YouTube, like PewDiePie had like all of YouTube being like, dude's not a Nazi. This JonTron's kind of going more right out and saying stuff about his political ideology rather than just saying, oh, Hitler this, Hitler that. You know, he's actually got some more solid points here, so it's easier to pin things on him. But yeah, I'm really hoping that it doesn't blow up. I'm really hoping that after I post this video, nothing really comes of this, but I think that this is going to be the beginning. And the short answer to the question I ask in this title, is JonTron a Nazi? No, dude's not a Nazi. People are really just out on a witch hunt nowadays. They want to exterminate this ideology as fast as possible because they feel like it's damaging to them. And also I have a new video that should be coming out called Is the Future Alt-Right? And yeah, that should be interesting too. And I feel like a lot of people want to extinguish this because they can see the rise in this political ideology that JonTron shares, and they see it as damaging to them, and I mean, it's no mystery here. I mean, obviously, a lot of these news places are owned by liberal organizations, have a Jewish leanings most of the time. A lot of writers are Jewish, and they don't like Nazi stuff. They don't like alt-right stuff, and they all like to read each other's articles and will make hit pieces about people like this in order to take them down because they don't want the future to be the most dramatic, bleak thing that they can think of, which is always the way that liberals think, is that the future is going to be as bleak and dramatic as possible. There's no optimism if there's anybody with dissenting opinions. You can't sleep at night if somebody doesn't agree with you. But yeah, I love you guys. Have a good day. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. So I don't know when this is going to be going up. I don't think I need to do any editing to this video. I feel like I did a pretty good job getting my point across without editing anything. So I'm probably just going to upload this maybe right after I make it. Maybe it'll be a double video day, or maybe I'll upload this on Wednesday. I'm feeling Wednesday, actually. Okay, but yeah, that's just all I wanted to say. I love you guys. Have a good day.